This movie will show you how to use Eclipse with data files in a Java program, as well as some of the things that can go wrong when using arrays and working through sort routines. Start out with the election results program, and you can see that it's built up with a series of arrays, and it's going to need a couple data files. I'm going to run this without the data files available, and you can see that it gives a file not found error and it can't find the candidate data text. So in order to bring that file in, I'm going to right mouse click on my project vector, use the import, select the general and then the file system, and I've saved these files out on my desktop. So I'll choose that directory, select the directory, and then I'll go out and get my data files. So there's my candidate data and there's my vote data. And I'm going to put these right inside the project vector file. And you can see they both came in. Now, if I look at this data, you can see that I have 4 different names, and here's my voting data. So here's the name of the candidate, the area that was in the precinct, and how many votes. So John got 5 votes in each of the 3 precincts. Fred got 2 votes in one precinct. Alice got 2 votes in the first precinct. And Lucy got 2 votes in the first precinct. Now often data can be throw you for a web with white space. So in order to view the white space characters, we'll go to Eclipse, Preferences, and open up the General, Editors, and then Text Editors. And you'll see an option here called Show Whitespace Characters. If you click that and apply, keep this panel open, you can see that we have the whitespace characters. We can see the line returns here. And if we, I guess we'll have to close that. If we put a couple more returns in there, we normally wouldn't see these, but they would be treated as separate lines. So let's see if I save our data, go back to our election results, and run the file. And you can see here that we have two extra people with no data at all. That's because of these extra characters, this extra white space. And if we hadn't turned the white space on, we wouldn't see this. So this is really how we want our data to look. And if I rerun the program now, oops, if I rerun election results, now I have a null pointer for my exception. You can see the spaces can get pretty irritating, so let's turn those off. Again, Eclipse, Preferences, go into our text editors, uncheck the Show Whitespace, and it looks like we have a problem in our sort candidates. So I'm going to double click on that, and it's going to be right in here. So I'm going to set a breakpoint by clicking on the very far left margin, and then I'm going to use the debug. And the first thing I want to see is what this array of strings is. So I'm going to right mouse click on it and set a watch. You can only do this when you've stopped on a breakpoint. I'll set my watch, and here you can see that I have C names, and my array is looking to be 6 items: John, Fred, Alice, Lucy. So I wonder about that. And then I remember at the beginning of the program, I set my number of candidates to be 6. Well, I could either add more names or I could change it to 4. I also know that from the candidate data that or the vote data, we only had 3 precincts or 3 areas. So I'm going to change this to 3. So I'm going to stop my debug, go back to my Java viewpoint, and run the file again. And now we can see that Alice, here we can see the regions and the votes. So we got region 1, 2, 3, 4, and here we can see the votes. Everybody got something in region 1. John got something in all regions. Now we'll have to work on this because there's expecting for regions. It's built into the program. So my data is really bad because this total here should be in the far column. But other than that, everything is working okay. So just to review, here we brought in our data files so they could be read by the program. And then we set our white space so we could look inside our data to make sure it was good and valid without extra characters. And finally, we set our limits with our constants to match our data. One of the cardinal rules in programming is always check your data first and then your program, because if you have bad data, it doesn't matter how good your program is. So that concludes this short little demonstration of using Eclipse with data files.